Checkered flag out. Tomac wins A1. And nobody does it better than Jed Lawrence.
Oh, Eli Tomac's down. Off to the side of the track.
Sexton is down. Sexton has dropped it from the lead.
Aaron Plessinger is down.
Don't count me out. I'm not
Chase
done yet.
Sexton taking the 450 title.
All right, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to round 16 of the RM Fantasy SXperts show. I am Chase.
And I'm Charles.
And we are headed to Denver.
Yep.
We should probably rename this show the RM Fantasy I Can't Beat Charles in a Week to Save My Freaking Life
Champion
show. How many points you get, Chuck?
40 points.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
Can't complain.
Arguably my worst round. I had 25 points. I don't know, dude. The thing is, like, you're picking Jet to win, and you have, like I can't just pick the same picks if I'm trying to gain on you.
That's the thing. All I have to do is pick safely,
prayer,
and I'm good.
All you have to do is just make the safe bet, and it makes it hard for me to gain points.
If I pick your same picks, I need someone on the inside. I just have to make your same picks both
just
rounds.
Like this
and we're
week,
good.
It's like you had the podium that I wanted, and I'm like, well, that's not going to help me. Gosh dang it.
I don't know. I almost
hot
first. Just after watching that qualifying
Hunter
start.
burned us all, dude.
I know,
Qualified
dude.
P1 and then didn't get in the top 5.
Seriously.
I put him in 5th, dude, and he burned me.
Yep.
But hey, Kyle Chisholm, who also burned me, who didn't make the main event, who I put for the wild card, he's going to be calling in here in a few minutes, so excited for that.
Forgiveness.
Well, look, we got 2 rounds of this fantasy stuff left here for the Supercross season, which means we are going to be crowning champions here pretty shortly in just a couple weeks. So, yeah, I looked at the points. 41 points separate the top 10 right now. And this is why you want to be playing fantasy. Real quick, Blake, show them what's up for grabs. This is why you play fantasy, because we give away grand prizes at the end of the year. 3 race prep dirt bikes. You can see everything else out down there below. Remember, you can see all these prizes anytime during the year. Just go to the fantasy website. But not only do we give away the dirt bikes, but we do the weekly prizes as well. And this year we're doing the fantasy cash. But only 2 more weeks until we crown a champion and give those bikes away.
Heck yeah.
I just saw them. They're here. They're on the property. They're built.
Yep.
They're ready to go. You said you'd take the 250, huh? Did you say you would take the 250?
Yeah, I would. I love 2-strokes. They're super fun.
I'm a 4-stroke kind of guy, dude. So, I would take the 4 fatty.
Yeah.
But
both would be fun.
Yeah, man, and we don't have any tickets to give away. Last week, we gave away tickets for Salt Lake, so we don't have to worry about that in this show. But, look.
Hey, do we show the weekly prizes?
Yeah, get them up there. Get them up there. What is up for grabs this week?
Pull them up. Yeah, A-Stars, Fox, Bridgestone, Fastway, FXR, Scoche, ASV, Acerbis, Rhino Power, and Fly. Check or learn more about all of this stuff on our website.
Hey, do you think Tomac ever looked at those Fastway ankle saver foot pegs, the Air EXT with the little extra support for the Achilles?
He probably has a poster of them in his garage.
He probably dreams about those.
I know.
No, like serious though. Like I've ran those before. It's kind of wild. Like you think that they would drag in ruts and be in the way. You honestly don't even know they're there.
Yeah, that's
like,
so crazy.
The heel support.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Make sure shop the brands that support fantasy, and go Go check out everyone that supports it. We love it. Let's check out the KTM leaderboards real quick. Like I said, 41 points separate our top 10 right now overall, if I did my math correctly. So yeah, see, EB10's been up there for a while now. Holding steady.
Strong work.
775. That is almost 300 more points than I have.
I'm ashamed.
I am, dude. We're supposed to be the SXperts over here. Hey, look, we just provide the stats and good talking points, help people make their picks.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I'm always right. How boring would it be if we were always right, though, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Just make myself feel better.
I have noticed, though, some of the guys doing really well. They've used a lot of people that we've had either in the wild card or whatever. It's just a little bit different order than what we put
I won't name names, but I talked to somebody today who is crushing us and is only had rollover since round 1. Just made their top 5 picks at Anaheim 1. They've not changed them.
You're serious.
And they're beating us. Yeah.
I have to go.
Gosh, dude.
Catch you guys next week.
Looks like our SXperts group. Looks like Cap Car, whatever your name is, 684. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
and
Malcolm A,
top scores.
$648.
No perfect scores last week, but Faith 2C taking the top spot. Good job, everybody. All right, well, look, let's get into it here. Our Bridgestone race recap. News and injuries. Remember, we still got AP. He's out for the rest of the season with the elbow injury. Ken Roxon is out. Dylan Ferrandis, though.
Yeah.
He was back on the gate. Look, goodness, he didn't do too bad. Finished inside the top 10.
Yeah.
Been out for a while. I'm hearing rumors all over the place that Tomac is racing outdoors.
I've been hearing
I haven't
the same.
seen anything confirmed.
Exactly.
When's he going to tell us?
I don't know. He's a quiet guy.
What do you think? Maybe we'll ask Chiz. Like, what do you think Tomac's? Like, why do you think? I don't know.
Yeah. Why keep it secret? Why does it matter?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he still hasn't made up his mind.
Yeah.
Is money the deciding factor for Eli? Is it because he thinks he can still win one of these? He's proven he's done everything. Maybe that's a good question for Chiz. We'll
did
ask
he
him that.
invest the Monster Million or did he blow it all on dumb things? That's the question.
Dude, he's made so much money. He ain't worried about a mill. He could have $1 million out of his bank account today and probably not even know it happened. 250 highlights. Jalik Swoll, Seth Hammaker.
Yep.
Who blame pie here? I'm like 90%
Swoll.
100% Swoll.
That's me.
I'll go hundo with you, dude.
Yeah.
There's just like I understand Swoll's trying to make the pass, but dude, he didn't have a prayer.
No. Well, the worst part is it's like, okay, he could have minimum took in third place.
Yeah, but it's tough though. Because like where he tripled in right there, like you have to commit to that triple into the sand well before you know if Hammaker is going to be there or not.
That's true.
It's a total shot in the dark. So I still say 100% Jalik, but I'm not mad. Like, what were you thinking? It's like right here, he's already committed.
Yeah, he was already.
He doesn't know where Seth's going to be at that exact moment. So
yeah, he probably thought he would have passed him.
Racing incident, man. That's what I'll call it.
Yep.
We got Ejectocito. In fact, we have a meme about that today. Our local boy Pierce Brown, dude, just had some tough luck.
Ooh.
And he was in position to get his first, get a podium too. It's pretty rough.
Such a bummer.
All right, 450 highlights. Sexton into Webb, dude. This one kind of surprised me. Sexton got a little right here after he passed him, dude. He was not going to let Webb get back by.
No way.
This just kind of surprised me a little bit. Just didn't seem very Sexton-esque.
Yeah. Yeah, he's giving it the aggression he needs.
Yeah, but hey, I'm glad to see it. Webb just got the dirty end of both deals, dude. First him, and then Anderson in the last corner. Hey, shout out to Anderson, though, dude. And nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's bad news.
Nothing wrong with that, dude. Rubbin's racing. Webb should have known. If Webb had checked up, Anderson said in the post-race or in an interview, he was going to blow by that corner because he was just full sending the whoops. If Webb had I don't think Webb expected him to be there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If Webb had just checked up a little bit, Anderson goes deep in the corner, Webb could have just cut underneath and still got third.
Yep.
But did you hear Anderson's response, though? I loved it.
Remind me.
Oh, he means no.
I did. I just don't remember.
He just said, he's like, look, man, I get Webb's in a championship, and I get
it.
There's that respect, but hey, I'm trying to cash that check.
Yeah, he wants the bonus money.
He wants the bonus money, dude. These guys are racing for a lot of money, and that pass right there was probably 30 grand, 40 grand. from the manufacturer and his
30.
personal sponsors. Yeah. So, dude, that's a big paycheck for one pass on the final corner. So I do not blame him at all.
Nope.
All right, fair enough. Pretty good though, dude. Dude, what a good night. The 250 just race in general was insane.
That was so good.
But shout out Tom Vial though. Botched the start. So did Hayden.
Yep.
And then those two just
time working their way up.
I was shocked. Dude, Tom Vial, you can tell, dude, just doesn't get rattled very easily.
Yeah.
I mean, he won, and I had forgot about this, but one of his MX2 championships that he had in Europe, he won like in the final moto. It was winner take all. I want to say it was with Jago Geertz, but could be wrong. But anyway, like he just didn't buckle. Like you don't know what Danger Boy is going to do in that situation. Everyone's like, dude, it's like 50-50. He could just go balls to the wall and just T-bone Vial, or race him like he did, which he showed him a wheel. I was expecting, honestly, Deegan to like get super aggressive. What were you thinking?
I was just along for the ride. I was hoping he wouldn't take him out, but yeah.
I was with you.
It was a good race.
But you know that had to be in the back of Vial's mind when Danger was behind him. He was thinking like, oh, 100%. No. But no, dude, he didn't buckle. He rode a perfect race. Well, not perfect because the start was botched, but he rode as best as you possibly could in that scenario and still got on the box. Like that's
good.
Pretty freaking good. So good for him.
Yeah. Shout out to Max and Steve too.
Yeah, dude.
Good little.
I heard Star Racing Yamaha next year. It's already done.
Really?
Signed. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's tough, man, though, because once you go to Star, Max going to Star next year, good for him. I don't know if it's a 1 or a 2 year deal. Probably just a 1. But like they signed Max to win a championship. There is zero doubt in my mind that like that was like this isn't like where you're getting one shot at this and you have one shot to win this title. And the hard thing for Max though is like I never know how these conversations go over, but you feel like does he burn a bridge by leaving the team that's giving him this ride on the 250s, giving him a race-winning bike, but now he's going to leave to go to Star Yamaha? I'm assuming they're going to pay him more money.
Got to take chances.
I mean, Bobby Reagan like spares no expense when it comes to signing riders. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying, look how it worked out for Enzo Lopes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still in Brazil with a bike that Star probably gave him that they're probably like, yeah, we need that back. I don't know. But we're going to get Kyle Chisholm here on the line here pretty soon. But before we do that, though, let's just quick little recap here. Look, Jet Lawrence does it again. Not surprising. Sexton, though.
I'm not going to lie. I was a little worried after qualifying.
With Jet?
With Jet.
Why? Because he was like 4th or 5th?
Yeah, and a little tip over.
Yeah, but dude, that last lap, they looked at all the time, the zones.
Yep.
If he doesn't go down that last corner, he qualifies P1.
Yep.
Like it was a heater. Chase Sexton's being much better. Still hasn't beat Jet. But just a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, Tomac's the second fastest guy. Mm-hmm. Now I think Sexton's the next best guy. So yeah, it was Anderson 3rd, Webb 4th, Tomac 5th, Cianciarulo wild card.
Yep.
Do you think, I'm kind of curious, I need to know what's going on in Tomac's head. Obviously, the win wasn't there for him. Webb got around him early. Jet was kind of checking out a little bit, and then Tomac got passed by a couple more dudes. If the win is not there for Tomac, is he just kind of riding it in? Like, is he not going to push as hard as he could, knowing it's like, I'm way out of the points lead. I'm not going to push super hard. The win's not there for me tonight. I'm good.
That's kind of what it feels like.
That's what it feels like. But I could be totally wrong. That's a good question for Chiz.
That is.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. That being said, track trends. Let's get Denver Supercross track up here real quick. I don't know why this track looks so like similar. I was looking at all the other track maps that we've had this year, and maybe it's just like we've had a lot of these big, long infield starts with the left turns.
Yep.
But it reminds me, though, of last week where it's a little bit slower track because you see the rhythm lanes are not very long. Not very long at all.
Nope.
And then you're going to have these back-to-back bull turns, which I always like those.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Little jump in, jump out, single in, single out.
I don't know. I think it'll be good, though. But Now, the sand section last week I really liked. The split lane ended up working out pretty cool. Guys were taking different lines.
Yeah.
That's where Anderson was making up a ton of time on Webb, was through that sand section, so that was cool.
Yeah, and I love that, the sand's actually in the corners instead of just the straightaway.
Yeah.
We always talk about that.
No,
it always shakes it up. It's nice.
No, the sand's been good. Look what it did in the 250s last week. So, yeah, I don't know. See how it goes. It looks like a cool layout. I like the bull turns. I love watching those guys just come in those things and just rail them.
Yep.
So, and Denver's a slick, hard-packed track. I looked at the weather. I'll be there this weekend for Race Day Live. It does get hard-packed and slick, so maybe that's – Tomac's always been good in those conditions. Anderson's always been good in those. Jet, we haven't had many tracks like that this year, but Jet's proven he can win on anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do with Jet. But, I don't know. Let's get into the Fox top contenders.
Okay. Speaking of the man you just mentioned.
Yeah, Jet, dude. What do you got here?
Well, 12-point lead, obviously.
So if Jet wins, even if Cooper Webb won the next two races, Jet has to finish fourth or worse.
Yep. So, yeah, does he go with the strategy and just ride it safe, conservative, or?
I don't know. I think he, this weekend, gets a buffer, tries to add to it, and then he can just sail it in at Salt Lake.
Yeah.
If I was Jet, you're obviously not going to win it this weekend unless Webb crashes. But you can certainly add to that buffer, and then come Salt Lake, dude, you're stress-free on the line. So I think he still rides with the intent of, I'm not just going to let Webb have it if he's out in front. Like, I'm still going to try and win or beat Webb and add to that points gap to have a little bit of a push going to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
He's got 8 hole shots this year, though.
Yeah.
Next closest is Sexton with 3. I think Roxon had 3 before he got hurt.
181 laps led. Next closest is Tomac with 52.
Gosh, dude.
That's so crazy.
What's crazy is Webb's only 12 points back, and Webb has led 36 laps.
Yeah.
Last time, so Jet has 7 wins right now. The last time we had a 9-win season, don't look at the sheet. When was it?
It was 2012.
You've already
with
looked
Ryan Villapoto.
Yeah. And what's crazy, though, is Villapoto had 9 wins that season, and that was the year that he didn't race the last 2 rounds and won the title.
Yeah.
So he could have had 10 or 11 race wins that year.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. So, yeah, I don't know. Jet, you're going to put Jet first, is what it is. I don't think he's going to mail this one in whatsoever. And, yeah, you got to put him to win. Cooper Webb, though. He got, Anderson Webb was out there just slinging webs at him. So that was pretty neat.
Yep.
Oh, dude. How about the look on Coop's face when Jason Thomas had to do that interview?
Oh, dude, I felt bad.
I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was
like, dude, let the man cry by himself.
Dude, he looked so mad, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell he is just pissed. And
because
what's up?
In reality, that was the nail in the coffin, in my opinion. Like, there's still a chance. There's a possibility. Sure, he could win this championship somehow, some way. But
I don't know if it was a nail in the coffin, but it was like, I don't know, man. But it's been brutal. Look, dude, he's led 36 laps. He's got 145 less than Jet. Clearly, right now, is not the fastest guy. It's going to take Jet, obviously, crashing for him to win the title. Just the way it is. Like, that's 2 weeks in a row. He's got dropped by the leaders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't have the pace. He's never been, like, these hard-packed, slick tracks are not, like, remember Phoenix?
Yep.
Not
good.
His
thing.
So that's what we're going to have this week in Denver. So I got to look at my picks again. If I have Webb in my box, I might take him off just because he has not historically been good on these dry, hard-packed tracks. You look at Nashville, you look at last weekend, they just weren't the best tracks for him. So, yeah, there's that. Chase Sexton. I picked him to win, dude. Only because,
Dang.
Dude, I have
That's
to.
Bold.
I need a miracle, dude.
I don't say it's unrealistic. After how he was riding, he got the fastest lap time, right?
Yeah.
During the main last week. So,
but here's the deal, though. For him to win, you have to hole shot.
Yep.
I don't care. Like, nobody is going to beat Jet straight up. He's got to get a hole shot. And his starts just haven't been that great. Like, he's podium 5 of the last 8 races, so you better put him on your box. He did set the fastest lap time in the main last week. Yeah, how about the drama with his average start per gate drops 5.8, so he's like fourth in average start. How about the new mechanic thing though, dude?
Yeah,
Little
kind
drama
of
over the
raised
KTM pits.
some questions for me.
Raise some eyebrows a little bit.
You know what's interesting?
What's that?
Way back in the day. This is going way back.
Okay, way back.
97 with Jeremy McGrath.
What happened? I don't
So
even know
he
that
was on
story.
a Suzuki for 1 year,
Yeah.
and come to find out many years later, he was having all these issues. Anyway, his throttle was only opening like 3/4 of the way because the cable wasn't set up right or something.
No.
So
Are you serious though?
I'm for real. Look it up. Look it up.
So the
people.
mechanic was doing his throttle cable wrong the whole
Just
year?
all kinds of stuff. Just
weird
issues,
things
and
happening?
he was out of there, yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
interesting thing. So I mean,
Well, look, here's the deal.
bike setup's huge.
We will never know why Sexton looped out off that jump. If it was his fault or the mechanic's fault, I don't know. But clearly something was wrong with the bike. They had to have found something. And yeah, next thing you know, his Zim's not there anymore. But
and who knows if there was other things leading up to that.
yeah, I've heard lots of stories from different people. I'm not going to take a side. I have
Anyway,
no idea what's going on.
we don't know.
You know what's crazy though is I heard Jeff Emig shout out Gypsy Tales.
Uh-huh.
Was it Gypsy Tales? He did a podcast, and he said that there was 1 year, so year he won his title, and he won it over McGrath at Glen Helen. And in practice, he came out of a corner while he was behind McGrath and looped out and like broke his fender and stuff. And he was like super embarrassed because it was just totally his fault. He went back to his rig and he's like, I don't know what happened. The throttle just got stuck wide open coming out of that corner. So he lied about it. So the whole team like swaps out the throttle cable, does all this stuff to the bike, goes and wins the title, and then afterwards said, hey guys, I have a confession. There was nothing wrong with the throttle. Like I lied. I was just embarrassed and didn't know how to tell you.
People's jobs are at stake here.
I know, dude.
Man.
He's just throwing the mechanics under the bus.
Hey, what's
Look,
new?
you know how
What's new?
stressed out that mechanic was the whole day thinking his throttle's going to stick during the freaking motos?
Yeah.
Jeez,
That's
man.
wild.
As far as Anderson goes, though, look, I think the Denver hard pack helps him.
Yeah.
Philly was his first podium since round 6 in Glendale, which is very surprising. Talk about a midseason slump. Anderson was having one.
Talk about a comeback.
Yeah.
That was a nice little comeback this weekend.
I really think Anderson could win one of these last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I think he's gaining traction, and these are 2 tracks that I think suit him. But he only has the 8th best average start. But for whatever reason, dude, in the last couple of races, he seemed to turn it around a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know if they made any big bike changes or what, but he seems to be doing quite a bit better. And now that you have Roxon and Plessinger out, like I think Anderson is obviously your solid kind of 4th, 5th place guy right now.
Yeah, bumps up 2 spots.
Yeah. I don't know. Hunter burned us last
we skipped
week.
right over Tomac. I mean, we've talked about him a little bit.
Oh, I'm
but,
sorry, I did.
yeah, I guess really, is this his redemption race? Like, do you think he is a little more cautious here because of
No.
last year, or do you think
No.
he's all out and wants to redeem himself?
Look, I don't know. I'm going to ask him this weekend if I see him for Race Day Live. I want to know, like, hey, if you were to win this weekend, just with all the history, it's your home race. This is where you had your injury, where the title was just taken from you. Where does this rank on your all-time win list? It's got to be up there if he were to win in Denver.
Well, yeah, and it's a standard round.
Mm-hmm.
It's only won the Triple Crowns.
Here,
So,
I don't know what the scary thing is, though, man. He's only had 2 results better than 5th in the last 7 races. So his starts have been great, honestly, but he's just not, like last week he got dropped by a couple dudes. So I don't know, like I think a lot of people are going to pick with their heart, put Tomac in first this weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Tomac, of all the races this year that he could choose to win, probably Denver. I just don't know if I could see Tomac whole shotting and winning this thing.
Yeah.
What do you think, dude? Where did you put him in your picks?
So I've got him second.
Okay.
I think he's going to do really good, but I can't bet against Jet.
All right.
Ain't nothing changed.
All right. Blake, how are we looking with old Kyle Chisholm here?
I think he's queued up and pretty much ready to go. You guys ready to have him on?
Oh, dude, we're always ready to have him on. All right, we're going to get Kyle Chiz on the phone real quick before we move on to the wild card watch. But, yeah, if you got some questions for Chiz, put them in the chat. Dude, we got outdoors coming up, too. That'll be good. I don't know, man. Can anybody touch jet in outdoors? Well,
I don't know, dude.
Either way, we got him right here. Oh, dude, look at this man.
Yeah.
That is not the face of a 36-year-old. This is Kyle Chisholm. How are we doing, Chiz?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Really
Dude,
good.
I would be better if you would just if the old saying chiz gonna chiz. You didn't chiz last weekend, and you burned me on my wild card pick. I love you, but you burned me.
I'm sorry. I burned myself too. So, yeah, it's tough, man. There's been so many good, fortunately, there hasn't been that many guys getting hurt this year. And, and this late in the season, we only have 2 races left, and it's tough. There's so many guys riding good. And, even that, there's a lot of top guys still healthy, obviously, for the most part. And, even just the depth, back to the 25th to 30th, even the top 30 guys, and you look at lap times in practice, if there's 8 to 10 guys that could be in a main event, any given weekend, getting those last few spots. So it's tough. And this weekend, it wasn't it's the same for everybody. So I'm not making any excuses, but the track was a little tough to pass on, hard to make up time. There's a lot of flat turns and insides where you just really couldn't kind of make a pass. Unless you were a lot faster than the guy in front of you. When you're close, it's tough. You can be a little faster, but not actually make the pass when the track's kind of like that. So when it's like that, you've got to get a good start. And unfortunately, I wheelied and did not get a good start in the LCQ. So it was a lot of work for me to come through the pack. And I almost got in there, but yeah, didn't make it happen. Well, too little, too late.
Well, the thing is, too, is I don't think people realize, I feel like the Justin Starlings, Cade Claysons, Grant Harlan's, all those guys I feel like have gotten a lot better in the last few years too. So it's not just – so when you're racing the LCQ, all those guys I feel like have stepped up their game, which makes it even tougher. Justin Hill's been in a lot of LCQs, and dude, that guy's a 250 champion. You know what I mean? So it's the LCQs are a lot tougher this year than I think they have been in the past.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, he was in the LCQ this weekend, and I beat him. I passed him, I think, towards the beginning, and yeah, you're talking about a guy that's won a championship, in this sport before. So it's tough. It's not easy. And I'm trying to chiz out there, but it's getting older. The competition's getting younger and more. But no, all in all, I was bummed out that obviously I want to be in the main event every weekend, but I'm mad about my start. Like I said, the start made it tough for me, but my actual riding in the LCQ, I was I feel like I rode pretty good. Sure, you could always find things and pick them apart and be better, but it wasn't like I came off the track gosh, I rode like crap. I got to work on stuff. I got to be better. Yeah, you got to be better, but I feel like I rode pretty good. There's just other guys that rode really good too, and I didn't put myself in a good position, off the start, and that made it tough. And you're racing against past champions in the LCQs, this year, so it's tough.
I got a question.
So, well, that just makes me wonder. So this week, is all your training, is it just starts all day, every day?
Nah, he's dialed.
I haven't done this. Will sound bad to follow up with what I just said. I haven't done one week. I've actually only rode motocross this week. I rode yesterday and today.
Nice.
Just outdoor. I'll ride press on Friday, so I'll do a couple starts on Friday. We get start practice at the race, and honestly, my starts have been good. I dumped the clutch. I was wanting to get a start. All those good things I was anticipating and fired up, and I just dumped the clutch a little bit and just wheelied off the grate. So just a dumb little mistake that I made, and I was trying to go for it, and I just let the clutch out a little too fast. So nothing. I don't think there's anything fundamentally that I need to go work on. My starts have been pretty good when I nail my start and do it right. So, but if you make mistakes, it's never going to be good if you do that. So just got to focus on that and make it happen.
Speaking of starts, so you and Kenny on the same bike, I don't know if you guys have the same motor package or if it's tuned a little bit differently, but Kenny's starts have been awesome this year before he got hurt. Yeah. But do you think that if you and Kenny switch positions on the gate for each night show, how much of it comes down to the confidence of the rider versus gate selection? If you and Kenny were like Kenny wins his heat, gets first gate pick. You've got 17th gate pick. If you guys were like, hey, Kenny, let's switch, do you think that would instantly give you a better start than Kenny? Or do you think there's just like this mentality that some dudes have? It's like Jet last week, didn't have the best gate pick, didn't have the best rut, but still just comes out and rips a whole shot.
Yeah, it's a little bit track dependent, I would say. Like, like a lot, if it's a long start, it's usually pretty fair, like where you can rip one from the outside. If it's a short one, sometimes in the football stadiums, they'll do it like on the end zone, that length of the stadium, not the long way. When it's a short start like that, the position matters like a little bit more because you don't have the room. When it's a long start, like the length of the stadium or a really long one, you can be on the outside and you have time to kind of make up that distance if you can nail it start. Where if it's a short start or into a really tight corner, you don't really have as much time to make up that distance that you might have being on the outside. So a little bit dependent on that, but overall, no, you can rip a start from the outside. Look, Kenny had to go to the LCQ, wherever that was, I think, wasn't it just before he got hurt?
Yep.
And he ripped a good start, I think, in that one. So it helps a little bit, but it is not by any means. I wouldn't be ripping the whole shot just because I got Ken's gate pick, whatever. It is beneficial, but not to that extent.
Interesting.
That is.
Hey, do you got a dog in this 250 West Coast fight? 2 points separating them with 2 races to go?
I train with Levi, so but obviously RJ's a Florida guy too, so it's tough. I hopefully it's just a good battle. Hopefully they can go down to the wire. So they have this weekend and then the shootout, obviously, in Salt Lake. So I hope, it'd be cool if they go in tied, somehow into Salt Lake. That'd be pretty cool, exciting for the fans. I'm a fan of the sport, obviously, so I'll be paying attention to that. But it's hard to pick one. RJ's a Florida guy, but Levi, I train with him and ride with him quite a bit. And so I guess let the best man win, but it'll be exciting to watch.
Dude, there's 2 riders that come to mind that I would not want behind me, maybe 3, when there's money and a title on the line. Justin Barcia, Vince Freeze, and RJ Hampshire, dude. RJ will not shut it off, dude. That guy will die to win this title. So I'm just saying, if Levi's out front and RJ's behind him, look
you better
out.
be cruising.
So do you guys remember last year? Remember New Jersey? Remember
the mud.
Super muddy. Remember the RJ last corner attempt, takeout attempt, whatever. Was it Jet that he was trying to pass? Remember he the finish line. It was like water, and he literally went in and just washed the front end out and did like a complete belly flop, slip and slide. The turn. That example was, yes, RJ will send it and do whatever it takes to try to win. So.
I was in the media box for that race, dude. And when he did that, everyone just stood up and yelled like, what? Because, dude, there was like, it was like the Barcia pass this year on Jet, where it's like, what was your plan? Like,
there was no plan.
He was going in on a hope and a prayer and just hoping to see what happens. Something would happen.
Oh, gosh.
That was crazy.
Well, hey,
he will.
You've talked about and prided yourselves, I think, on being a good test rider. I think you had a lot to do with getting Kenny comfortable. And honestly, I think you were kind of the domino that started this whole thing with Kenny being on Suzuki, because he went out and rode the bike. He had called you right after, and I listened to an interview you did, and he's like, dude, this thing's actually really good. And you had helped develop the bike leading into that. So is there life for Chiz as a test rider after racing's over? Is that the plan?
I mean, I don't really have a plan per se, but I could definitely see that happening. I definitely would enjoy that. So like for people that didn't know, like kind of you summarized it there, when Kenny was kind of figuring out his deals going into 2023 at the end of the 2022 season, he was pretty set on, if you remember, but he went to the Firepower Honda team and raced Paris. He beat Eli and won over in Paris. And while he was over there winning on a Honda, I guess a privateer Honda. I was actually in California. I wasn't signed with the team yet, but they had asked me to come out. I was in between my contracts and figuring out what I was doing. The team asked me to come out and kind of test and set the bike up. They offered me a deal as well. But I kind of knew going in because I talked to Larry. They just hired Larry Brooks. And I was kind of setting the bike up for Kenny to come out and test ride it. And I'm buddies with Kenny, so I knew he was going to be doing it. So I'm out in California for 3 days, just completely testing everything on the bike, getting it set up the best that I thought it could be. And made a lot of changes over 3 days, had 3 really long days. And I'm talking to Kenny, and he's like, man, I was like, what are the chances that you're going to do this? Because he just won in Paris on the Honda. So it's like, is he really going to leave? He just looked so good and did really well. And I'm like, there's no way he's going to come out here and ride this bike and do this deal. Because even if he likes it, he just beat Eli on a Honda. So he's like, he's going to do that deal. That's what I'm thinking. And he's like, man, the bike's going to have to be really good, for me to do this deal, is what he told me. And he gets out there. I went home. He's out there. He calls me the first day after he rides it. And I'm like, so what do you think? And he goes, dude, the bike's awesome. And I'm like, well, what'd you change? Because I changed so much stuff. I went through so many parts. I'm like, what'd you change? And he's like, nothing. And I was like, so you just wrote it how I left it? He's like, yeah. And I was like, so what do you, he's like, I'm going to ride it again tomorrow and then make my decision. So, long story short, he obviously decided to go with Suzuki. And, it's been good. We did a lot of development there, got through last year, and then we made a few more changes on the chassis this year before the season started that were better again. And, it's been awesome getting to test kind of for a guy like Kenny, a championship, race winning caliber rider, is kind of why I wanted to do it. So it's actually in my contract now that I'm kind of a test, bike development rider. I just race as well. I'm enjoying racing now for the time being, but obviously still, playing my hand with the team and testing and stuff. So definitely would see myself doing that in the future if the opportunity's there and all that. Yeah.
You're a Trey Kennard that still races. It's basically
kind
what he is.
Rock Tickle.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Rock Tickle.
Well,
same kind of what he's doing, but I'm still racing.
Maybe you need to just send your resume over to KTM and try and help Sexton out with this bike. That leads me to my next question. Why is it like Sexton was always like this with the Honda, right? It was like the whole time he was on that bike, he never just came out and said, like, I love this motorcycle. It was always like, you could just tell like something's off. But now he's on KTM, and it's kind of been the same story. Do you think some guys just like Sexton, like, are, I don't know, explain it to me. Is he not good at setting up a bike? Does he set up the bike in a weird way? Or is he just always searching and just never, like, I guess you'll just never be fully satisfied when you're at this level?
Yeah, it's hard. It could be a little bit or any of those things that you just said. And I know Chase a little bit, actually rode with him. He was riding at Moto Sandbox, like where I train with Kenny. He was there in the whole off season. So I kind of got to see a lot of the initial transferring over to the KTM and the first, few months on it. And definitely it's hard. It's the first year on a new bike for him. He was on a Honda for a long time, obviously. So on one hand, I kind of like to cut him some slack, right? He's still trying to learn the bike. Yeah, we're almost through the Supercross season, but when you get on a new bike after being on another bike for a long time, it takes some time to kind of run through trial and error. Like, okay, I think the bike's better, but then you go to Indy and the track is super soft. And you're like, oh no, that didn't work. Then you go to Glendale and it's hard pack. So you're kind of learning the bike and learning what you want it to do and what you need it to do, for your riding style and for what you're looking to the bike, for you, what you want it to do. So on one hand, I'd like to cut him some slack. Be like, okay, first year on the bike, think about next year. He's going to have learned so much that he should be in a good place going into next year. Where this year, he kind of didn't know until the season gets going. And then sometimes you're kind of chasing your tail all season because you don't have a lot of time to, redevelop stuff when the season's going because we click off the week so fast. So, on one hand, I'd give him some slack with that being said. At the same time, I don't know. Maybe he's just not that good at setting it up. And, maybe they could use somebody. I know they have some production guys that do stuff, but I don't believe that they have, like, an actual race team test guy. But, that would be – I'm buddies with Chase, and obviously he's a great rider as well. So, in the future, who knows? That would be something cool to do too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, some of that stuff, it probably has to do with how well you communicate what the bike's actually doing to your mechanic, right? Like, which is what you're obviously good at.
Yeah, so that's a big thing is communicating, like, what you want it to do, what it's doing that you don't like, and where it's doing it, and just being very specific so that then you can let them, like, they're the suspension or the chassis expert. So if you can describe really well what it's doing and what you, like I said, what you want it to do or not want it to do, or what you'd like to change about it, then they can take the information that you give them and they can decide. Cause like, I don't know how to shim the mid speed or the initial valving or any of that stuff, right? Like, I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to build this.
You just say, hey, it's too stiff here, or too soft.
Yeah. Yep, it's doing this, it's doing that. It does this weird thing. It wallows. It stays up too much. I need more weight on the front end, that the balance is off. You got to be able to communicate all those things. And then they're the expert to go, okay, if the balance is off, I need to change this. If it's too stiff initially, I need to change this. Like, that's not my place to say, hey, take one shim out of the mid speed, of valving.
Right.
My place is to tell them what it's doing and what I want it to do. And it's their job to make the internal change or whatever it is to kind of fix what I'm looking for. And that is where communication with the person you're working with is a big thing. And our suspension guy on our team, I've worked with him for the last 7 years or 8 years. I actually kind of brought him onto the team with me last year, and he's done awesome for us. And so that's a big help for us as a team, because me and him communicate really well and work together really well. And that all kind of gets transferred over to Kenny and Shane and, the other guys on the team. So the other thing I was going to say, we were just talking about me racing. Me and Larry Brooks had talked about this. And I think one good thing about me racing is, I'm testing and I'm kind of in charge of kind of initial setting up or base settings for the bike for the team, but I'm out there racing, right? Like, I love Brock, obviously, because I'm good friends with him. I like Trey, but those guys are just at the test track or the practice track riding, and that's where a lot of the work is done. But then you don't know if the work works until you get to the race, right? So I can try stuff and then actually go to the race, and I'm trying stuff at the race. And then we have all that information to take back and all that data to take back and change stuff during the week to just keep making the bike better versus just guessing during the week and hoping that the riders like it on the weekend.
Well, in race conditions compared to practice track it's different. It's not even the same sport almost.
Yes, exactly. So that's the benefit for me racing and kind of being the test rider is I'm testing stuff, and then I'm also testing it at the race where it really matters. So that's been a big help, I think, for us as well.
Are there some mechanics in like Tomac and Gilly, right? He's like, Tomac was like, I need him. Are there other guys, like suspension guys that you've worked with that just they're better at understanding like what needs to change when you tell them, like, does that make sense? Like you say like, hey, it's doing this. They're like, I know exactly what you need to do. And some guys are like, oh, okay. And they're
yeah, that's a big help. So like if I go, hey man, it's doing this thing. Well, if it's somebody I've worked with a lot, you could probably go back 4 years ago and I said the same thing about something on a different bike back then. And he can go, oh yeah, when Kyle says that the bike wallows too much, this is what I changed. And he liked it. Right. So like you kind of you can step forward a little quicker without kind of shooting in the dark and guessing, did this fix it? Did this fix it? Did this fix it? And you might go through 3 or 4 steps before you figure out what fixes what I want. Or if you really know that person, you're in tune together, I can tell him something and he can usually nail it like first try. So that's a big help in just kind of speeding up like development and kind of being able to try more stuff. You have more time instead of chasing something for so long, we can kind of nail it quick and then move on to the next thing. Just keep trying to get the bike better.
Well, that's probably why riders like to take mechanics to other teams. It's not because like maybe they're just bros, but because it's like he knows my verbiage. When I say I need this, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But if you have a new mechanic, it's like you got to start all over again. So makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. That saves a lot of time and a lot of headache and all that when you're able to do that.
All right.
I've worked with good, suspension guys, mechanics as well, and there's some that weren't as good as others, whatever. So it's a little give and take, and there's better than others. And but yeah, our guy Matt has been awesome.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, we got some people blowing up the chat.
What's up?
Robert's asking all this stuff, and
Tell Chase to ask Chiz.
Well, hold on.
What?
First, will Suzuki ever add electric start that you know of?
Is it in the plans?
Is it?
I don't know what I can say or not say, whatever. But
That's a yes. Okay. Next question.
But, there was a possibility of it this year. We were gonna try to work on it in this past off season, and things didn't work out. So I'll just leave it at that. I know it's been talked about as well some more. I don't have a definitive answer for you if it is or isn't going to happen, but I know it's something that I think we would like to happen. So I think it's getting worked on. So we're seeing what's possible. So we're hoping. I would like it. I know I've told them, again, not get in trouble for this, whatever. But from my point of view, and I've said this to the team and other people, gosh, the Suzuki, the bike is an awesome bike. People like to give it a hard time because it hasn't been updated as recently as some of the other bikes. But look, Kenny wins races and podiums and challenges for wins every week. We rip hole shots, and it is a really good bike. It is a lot cheaper than all the other new bikes.
Yep.
So my kind of argument was, man, if Suzuki could put an electric start, I think they would sell so many more bikes because the price point is lower. It is a really good bike. I mean, look what we do on it every week. It's a really good bike, even though it hasn't been, updated as recently as the others. And I do feel like just the way it sounds, right? Like, oh, that bike doesn't have electric start though. I feel like a lot of vet guys and older guys would really like that. And I think it would open up, a lot more of the market to Suzuki. So like I said, I think they see that, whatever. That's my just personal opinion. Because it's a great bike. It's an amazing bike. And I think if they added that feature, a lot of people, vet guys especially, would switch over and ride and get that bike because like I said, the price point, and it's a really good bike. We prove that every week. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion, but it's something I think is getting at least talked about. But we'll see if it happens.
Do me a favor. Just have them make a retrofit kit, or like Yamaha, they have the GYTR option if you want a hydraulic clutch. Do a kit, and you can add.
The thing
you can
is,
replace a case
people
half
are
or
buying
whatever.
the Suzuki because it's cheap.
Yeah.
They're not going to go spend another $1,000 or more to put an e-start in when they could just go buy a different bike that already has one.
All right.
Yeah, still a lot cheaper though, right? Even if it wasn't, I don't.
Yeah,
but you have the option.
I don't know how much Suzukis are going for right now.
It gives you the option to go cheap, or hey, I like the Suzuki platform, but I just want to add electric start.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know, just an idea.
But
yeah, like I said, I don't have that. I'm not the market expert, whatever, but that's just my opinion. It's an awesome bike, and I feel like the price point, like I said, is way cheaper than the others. And if they just added that feature, I think a lot more people would consider it, just because of that. People are lazy these days. We used to all kickstart bikes just 8 years ago. They all had them, and electric start.
Didn't even bat an eye.
Yeah, I think people just expect it, right? Like you get in a new car, and most of the new cars now are push buttons, right? Like you don't actually put your key in the ignition and turn it. So it's a new expected feature that I think if they did that, it would open up a lot of people to riding them.
Well, look, I mean, I'll say it. After having a bike with e-start for the last 4 years, it'd be tough to go back to a kickstart. I'm not going to lie to you, but I totally get what you're saying though. Yeah. But anyway, that's, yeah.
We're spoiled with it.
We are spoiled. We are spoiled. KTM started everything and screwed us all over. But
peasant levers. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, hey, we got another question for you. So, again, it's from Robert. He's wanting to know about Roxon. I don't know what you know about his deal, but he was just asking if he's going to be back for 25.
I bet he's 25.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for 25, I don't know. To my knowledge, I don't think anything's been done. I know they've talked. Obviously, I know the team would love to keep him. He's been awesome on the team and done great for the team, even for himself. Look, he went from factory Honda, and people kind of wrote him off. And look how good he's done the last 2 years. So I know he's happy. I'm friends with Kenny, and I know he's been happy with the team. The team really has a great group of people, from the mechanics to the truck drivers, to our suspension guy, our engine guy, the mechanics, the team managers, the owners, Larry, me testing, and me, Shane, and Kenny riding during the week together. We honestly have a really good group. I've been on a lot of teams through the years, as you guys know, and some better than others. And just the vibe and the way everybody works together on the team has been awesome. So I know Kenny's been happy with that. The bike's been great for him too. Like I said, he's done really well on it. So I believe he wants to stay there. But, business is business. I know they all, I'm sure, have stuff to kind of work through and figure out. But I know the team would like to keep him, and I believe he would like to stay. So I think they're a matter of just trying to work things out. But I'm hoping that he stays. And like I said, everybody's been working well together and try to just kind of keep that ball rolling. And so as far as I know, I don't know, what he's doing. But I believe all sides would like to work together. So just see what happens. Yeah.
As far as he knows, he doesn't know. But I do know this, that Kenny, dude, he's 30, 31. Just
30, I think he just turned 30.
Stay on the same bike, same team. At his age, he doesn't want to start all over, set up a new bike. Just everything's good. Just stick with it. Well, look, Chiz, you're a busy man, but I hope you're busy on the range too, because you know what we got coming up next week. We got the Love Moto Stop Cancer Rocky Mountain ATVMC Charity Golf Tournament that our man Chiz right here is going to be at. So we're getting pumped up for that. But thank you again for taking the time to call in today. It's good to hear from you. Please, let's have Chiz this weekend.
That's the plan. We got to go out strong in these last two.
All right, brother man. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time to call in. Best of luck this weekend. I'll be in Denver calling Race Day Live, so I will come find you on Friday so we can talk about swinging the sticks.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I don't get to golf nearly as much as I would like to these days, but I might go out tomorrow, hit a few balls or something like that.
All right.
And then next week maybe try to get out one day. But I'm really looking forward to that. So hopefully we have a good turnout and everybody has some fun.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, hey, best of luck this weekend. We'll talk soon.
Okay. See you guys. Thank you.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.
A good guy.
Such a good guy.
Oh, gosh.
Showing up for the golf tournament.
Yeah, that was our ASV guest caller, Kyle Chisholm. And now it's time for the Fly Racing Wildcard Watch. 7th place.
Gonna get spicy.
Dude, our boy Marshall Welton won the privateer payout a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I DM'd him. He was super stoked on that. If anyone watching doesn't know, we do privateer payout each and every week where a random rider that's in the LCQ for both classes gets selected. They get $1,000 if they're picked, an extra grand if they make it into the main event. So hopefully Chiz doesn't have to be on that list of possible people getting the privateer payout this weekend because he just gets it in from the heat. All right, wild card watch, dude.
Okay.
What do we got here?
It's going to be spicy. 7th place.
This is a tough one.
It is tough because we got a couple guys out and a couple guys back, like Dylan Ferrandis.
Let's put in some top contenders here for the wild card.
So, yeah, first dude who I think is most likely.
You think so?
Hunter Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
So,
Why?
Last weekend, he was back and forth with Barsha. They were both going for 6th. He ended up 7th. He's finished 7th place 4 times out of the last 5 races.
Okay.
I mean, the exact spot, 7th place. That's pretty dang good.
Okay.
West Coast average start of 7.7 and finish of 7.3. We're on the West Coast.
Did you say fish? And fish.
Finish. Did I say fish?
You said
finish.
fish.
No, I spoke quickly.
Is that lisp coming back to you? Okay.
Hanging out with Mike Tyson.
I think excuse me. Oh, boy. I think he's a great pick. Dylan Ferrandis, though, could be a lock-in. He finished within 2 spots of 7th. 8 out of the 10 races he's been in this year. He was 9th last weekend. Average West Coast finish is 7.57. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's, yeah.
Those are, well, I have 3 favorites that are really hard to choose from. But next dude.
Jay Coop's a good one.
Jay Coop. So finished within 2 spots of 7th 10 times this season. Last 5 finishes, 8, 9, 8, 6, 10. So
okay,
little up, little down. Average finish per gate drop over the whole season, 8.5. So
it's not too bad.
Not a bad pick, but also not my favorite, obviously.
Yeah, Justin Barcia. The last 7 races, been within 2 spots of 7th 6 times. His average finish per gate drop is 9.71, but he has been getting better.
Yep.
So, I mean, look at his last 5 overalls. He just got 6th, a 5th before that, and then a 6th and a 9th and 11th. I mean, he's right in there.
Yep.
I mean, not bad. Malcolm Stewart, last guy.
Last 5 finishes.
This breaks my heart, dude.
11, 7, 10, 9, 8. Could this week be 7? 10, 9, 8, 7?
We all hear the rumors at the start of the year that he's flying at the test track, right?
Yep.
No doubt in my mind he rails. But our expectations, is he just overhyped? Like, is this just, like, we all act so disappointed that he hasn't got a podium and this and that, but is this just the Malcolm Stewart we get?
I don't know, because it's a weird deal. Like, in the past, he's been ripping and doing better. And
yeah, but I mean, historically, like, look, he's had podiums and things like that, but historically, I bet if we were to go back and compare the years, I just kind of feel like this is who Malcolm Stewart is. He's just a 6th to 9th place guy. I think it's just the expectations a little too high.
hey, still to be in the top 10. That's crazy
not
fast.
taking anything away.
Yeah.
Wait, like we've said it multiple times this year, like how has he not been on the podium? How has he not even come close to a race win? And I think that's just I've just come to the realization, like I just think this is who Malcolm Stewart is. I don't think you can really put any more expectation than what he's delivering right now.
Well, and I guess going back to the rumor mill, I was just thinking, like, how can you just see, like, he's riding so fast? It might only be a second a lap different, but that's what it is. So
I don't know. But
anyway.
Here's another question.
What's up?
Mookie is signed. Is he signed for another year?
I honestly don't know.
I can't remember. Craig, I know for sure, is up. If Rockstar doesn't re-sign Craig, who do they pick up? Who's moving up from 250s? Does RJ go to a 450 if they've got a spot open for him? I think so.
Probably.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
Is RJ the next? I mean, RJ's been great this year. If RJ wins the title, no questions asked. He's got to be on a 450 next year for Rockstar.
Yeah.
Right? Taking Craig's spot.
Oh, yeah.
Has to be.
I
But
think
even
so.
if he doesn't, though, he's won multiple races this year. He's shown he's fat. He's good. I bet you RJ moves up, even if he doesn't win this title, take Craig's spot.
Yeah.
I think Husky gives him one
probably
shot.
about time.
I think they give him a 1-year deal for 450s and make sure he's 5th to 10th in that range, and then they'll probably re-sign him for another maybe 1 or 2 years after that. But I think RJ goes full-time 450 after this season, just because Rockstar doesn't have anybody else, I don't think. Yeah. And then if you look at, they've got Casey Cochran and Guillaume Ferris on 250s.
Yep.
So that fills their 250 roster for next year. So yeah, RJ I think moves up.
I like it.
Anyway, that's all I got. You know what time it is, dude.
Time to lock them in.
It is time.
It is the Acherubies. Lock them in.
Acherubies, Acerbis, Acerbis, all different ways. Okay, what are your picks, dude? Gosh damn, dude. You gained 40 points on me in Philly.
Yeah, this week. So I learned from last week. I shouldn't have changed my picks last week. I would have got, I think, another 10 points, which...
I thought you were going to say like another 50, but
no,
10's great.
Would be nice. I thought about AC for a minute.
Okay.
Anyway, this week, Jed Lawrence, Tomac, Sexton, Webb, Anderson, and Hunter.
Okay. All right. I got Sexton. I obviously can't, like, when Blake asked for our picks, I hadn't even seniors yet, and I gave the same podium, I think. Yep. I got Sexton, Tomac. I think Sexton does win one of these last two, or at least I hope he does. I have to throw a Hail Mary right now to try and beat you. Sexton, Tomac, Lawrence, Anderson, Webb, Barsha. Those are mine.
Not bad. Not bad. I like it.
I know. Put your picks in the chat. What do you guys got? That being said, it is time for the meme event. Where are y'all at with the memes, folks? Memes are slacking a little bit.
Yeah, there wasn't as many.
We had to go make a few just to make up for it.
I live for this.
Look, go to the Discord. The link is down below. Go make us some memes. We live for them. But let's see what we got here. Pretty much.
Yeah. 250 main. That was awesome.
It was. I think
time.
Best race of the year?
Probably.
Think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Next. Loser. That's pretty rough.
I have no comments on this one.
I mean, his stink face at the end of that main event was pretty bad. It was cringy.
Yeah.
Can we do something about the haircut? The comb over haircut a lot of these guys got going on. I don't know. It's not a good look when the helmet comes off.
No.
It's just not a good look. Anytime you got that kind of comb over part they got going on, dude, the helmet comes off and you're just like, oh boy. Give that man a hat.
Yep.
All right. What do we got next?
What is that? Jet, when he sees the bull turns in Denver.
Oh, is that because of Barsha? I just now realized it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it happened to him a couple times. I think Tomac just slammed on the brakes and didn't take him out.
Well,
but if he was a lesser man, he would have just T-boned Jet.
Jet's got to stop cutting down in these corners.
I know.
Okay.
Or at least, like, have some kind of awareness. Like, well, not saying anyway. Be like, hey, someone's right behind me. Probably shouldn't cut down right here.
Yeah. Carbon Gaber asked if anyone noticed the tamp ad in Coop's goggles.
Yeah.
No, a lot of the pros, they put a tampon, literally, or not a tampon, but like a
pad.
I don't know what pad. They put it on their goggle because it just helps absorb more sweat.
Yeah.
Some guys sweat more than others, and so they do that. You know what? Oh, life hack for anybody watching this show right now. You know how sometimes you go ride and pet peeve, you get like one little rock pebble in your goggles and it's floating up and down every time you jump or whatever?
It's the worst.
Do you want to know a solution?
Let's hear it.
Take some Vaseline and just smear Vaseline in the bottom of your goggle. And when that rock little pebble, something falls down, it gets stuck in the Vaseline. Dave Gianoffoli from 100% told me that hack, and I'm like, dude, that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Just
totally.
put some Vaseline in there.
Doesn't happen often,
Or
but
petroleum jelly. Isn't that the generic name for Vaseline? Petroleum jelly.
same. It's the worst when it happens.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, that's it, man. That's. Oh, we got one more.
Oh,
Maybe two more.
Yeah, we got a couple
Anderson
more.
to Webb. Get you some of that.
Or don't. Anderson's getting some of that. Charles just gets.
I've always
How do
loved
you
that
keep it
phrase.
up?
G-Saw. Fast and loud, dude.
Okay.
It was a good show.
Blake made this one, dude. It's good.
This is brutal.
Blake,
Why
dude,
would
that
Freeze
was a
do
good
that?
one, dude. Like that was a good one.
That is a good
We
one.
haven't even seen
I got one
Freeze
more
for a
too. I'll
while.
read another
Let's hear
one.
what the people think about this one.
That was pretty good. What else we got? Oh, it's Tyrese in the backdrop.
Whoa.
Blake made that one too.
If
at
you
the banner
can't
on
see
the
what
top.
that is, that's Fast and Furious 2.
Yeah.
Ejectocito, cuz.
Pierce, luckily, dude. So Pierce is playing in our tournament next week too. And when I saw him crash, man, I'm sorry, but all I could think about was like, oh no, he can't golf anymore. But he's okay.
Cool.
He's going to be there. He's good. He's dialed. He's ready to rock and
You
roll.
can swing a club. We're
All
golden.
right. We got any more? That's it for this week. Look at that, 5 o'clock on the dot. Look, everybody, thank you so much for joining us right now live on the RM Fantasy SXperts show. Again, round 16, Denver this weekend.
No double points this year.
Yeah, just
Just
FYI,
a
we're
quick heads up.
Yeah.
Make your points count.
Make your points count. Get them in. Don't remember, we got that fantasy cash going on. That expires after a month. So if you've been saving up your bucks, make sure you use that. But we are going to drop the 2 lowest scores after Salt Lake. So get ready for that. But, yeah, thanks for joining us live. Remember, the link to the Discord is down below. Go there to submit your memes, see all the stats. Shout out Dr. JB. Yeah, it puts the laugh charts in there, all the memes, everything else. It's a blast. Thank you to everyone that's watching the shows live, too. We appreciate you showing up.
Yep.
Chuck, is there anything else we need to let these people know before we let them go?
It's regular time. Get your picks in and have fun watching the races. We'll see you guys next week for Salt Lake.
See you then.